Hey everybody, James back here again with you, and this is part 2 of what the wind actually does to pellets and slugs. Now, this is a follow-up video obviously because of the claims I made in part 1 where I said that if the projectile is still stable, it should still shoot really good in the wind. And to validate that claim even more, I shot in 65-mile-an-hour wind gust and had really good success, and I want to share that with you. But not only that, I backed up to 100 yards just to see how they would group, because again, like I mentioned, the distance that I found where pellets destabilize from the wind is farther than what most people actually shoot them, or slugs I should say. The distance is way down there compared to what people are actually normally shooting at. So this just validates my claim again even more if you're shooting at closer ranges than what the ranges I shoot at, and you're getting a windage error with your projectile and you have to compensate for it, meaning that the projectile is not the right one because of other factors. But once you get the right projectile, it should perform extremely well, and that is no joke, and you'll see it here. I was able to get shots right at an inch or so or under, and up to 65-mile-an-hour wind gust with a constant 40-mile-an-hour wind, holding on the 8-inch gong at 100 yards, standing left-handed, and every time I pulled the trigger, my reticle, the gun went off. I was aiming for center of the plate, but it actually went off. My trigger pull and timing was so on spot. I kid you not. It was the perfect trigger timing every pull, that the gun went off almost in the same exact timing, same exact spot on target at that distance in that wind. And the reticle was just a hair right of the left ear. Even though I was aiming center, every time I pulled, my reticle would go to the left a little bit. And me shooting left-handed, I naturally pull anyway. And the gun is the 25 cal Avenger, obviously, using the JSB 25-4 King pellets at 800 feet a second, 2500 PSI on the regulator setting, and 3 turns in on the hammer spring, using my barrel band and my baffle set on the bog pod, standing again left-handed. So this just adds more validation to what I'm saying here. And it is, again, this is some of the best shooting I have ever done. So the only person I have to outshoot is myself every day. Check this out. This is nuts. You can barely hear what I say the whole video because the wind is blowing so much. And then the gust kick in and I wait for it, and I still pull the gun off. I still pull the shots off in the same spot. Check this out. Again, 1-inch groups or less at 100 yards standing. This is insane.
Here we go! 65-mile-an-hour wind gust. Ding! Just to show you guys how straight these even things windy conditions here. Weather brings. Check how straight these are flying out there, even at 100 yards. See that? And it was going on purpose, and that's what it did. Blow my gun.
shooting the pellets down here, even in this wind. Left-handed, over 100 yards. And it was shooting dead center of the gun. There's the camera still rolling. Check that out. Over 100 yards. It's supposed to be up to 65-mile-an-hour wind gust. I was probably shooting. Woo! 25 cal Avenger, 25 4-grain JSB Kings, 100 yards, 2,500 PSI on the reg, 3 turns in on the hammer spring. And when I stopped shooting, I was right below the regulator. Again, woo, you can see how consistent that is, even in this wind. Well, everybody, I hope you see what I'm talking about here. Again, the projectile is still stable at that distance, obviously, and standing in the wind blowing like that, that is literally some of the best shooting I have ever done. I mean, and, you know, any less wind than that is nothing. So I appreciate you watching the video as always. And definitely get out there and tempt yourself like I do. I shoot in the worst conditions all the time. And that's what makes me the shooter that I am. And again, I shoot in this all the time. I have to. This is where I live. So I appreciate you watching. As always, hope to see you guys on the next one.